It's Wednesday, the 29th day of April, 2026. It's the Hagmann Report. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your belief and trust in us. And I say us because with me is Randy Taylor from a non-disclosed location in the fantastic state of Tennessee, in the state of denial, in the state of anxiety. No, it's he's on the road, and actually he's taking some time with his family, so he's with me now. And this is a good, I'll tell you what, tonight will be good. It'll be great, actually, because we have a lot of stuff to get into. But tomorrow night, and this is kind of an interesting week, how this is kind of playing out. Tomorrow night, Michael Yon will be on with Steve Quayle. Now, Michael's been on before. Sorry about that. Michael's been on before. And I respect what he does. I respect I respect what he has done, and I respect what he does. I agree with him a lot. I agree with a lot with what Michael Yon says, because he does deliver the information. So it's going to be a good show. I don't, man. Well, just to let you know. All right. So last night, just want to touch base with you. Last night, Susan Daniels was on, and it was good. It was a good show. And I'm still thinking, folks, and Randy Taylor can opine on this as well. I'm still thinking about the old, pre-internet days, okay? Now, you might say, well, shut up about that. It doesn't matter. It does today. It still matters. The reliance on technology. I mean, how often do we talk about potential disruptions to communications and to electronics and everything? Now, I want you to think about this, because I remember the days that I had a fold-up map, or I would go to a specific city. If I was on assignment, I would go to a city, and I'd go into a store and purchase a map, a hard copy map of the city. New York, that was a nightmare. You get to know the city, though. But anyway, so think about that today. Can you find maps anywhere? I mean, look, there are truck stops that have them. But what would happen to, we'll say, a younger person on a scale of age if they lost their GPS? Now, the reason I bring that up is because maybe you have a grandson, granddaughter, son, daughter, whatever, that has decided to just rely on all of that stuff. You remember landlines, right? People, now, I understand that a lot of areas are, landlines are not what they used to be. A lot of the carriers are using the voice over internet, and I get that. However, again, think about a potential disruption here to us. Electronic disruption.
Like right now.
Where are you going?
Just a second.
Okay.
Just
you think I'm just dragging dragging this out because I want to talk, right? No. It's RT. He's got to do. They'll be there.
It's unstable. Just give me a second.
All right, it's cool. Behind the scenes stuff. Okay, so again, please, and I'm not dragging this out. I think a lot of thought. Wow. I think a lot of thought. Yeah. No, I'm very concerned. Come on board. Come on, Randy Taylor's on. Come on, let's. We don't stand on ceremony here. Come on.
I speak a lot of spoke.
I speak a lot of spoke.
Bear with me, folks. The connection's a little jumpy.
It's the mountains. It's the Smoky Mountains. That's all right.
Thank God for relatives that open their doors to you.
You know, never mind. I'm going to just stop my thought process that I opened with, but I want to tell you something. I have to tell you something that happened to me yesterday, and this is true. This is true. For the first time in probably about 10 years, for the first time in 10 years, I was stopped by a Pennsylvania State Police cruiser. Now, I got to set this up for you because you know me, right? I'm kind of snarky. Okay. So I'm driving my big honking vehicle, right? I need a lot of metal around me because, I just don't care. Yeah. So I'm driving.
You need something to stop the bullets.
That's true. That was the vehicle we had.
Yes, it was. Okay, very comfortable ride. I like it.
Right. I mean, it's a very substantial.
It seats 22. Yeah.
So to set the stage for you, and this is important because it has a few things to do with things today. So my sister-in-law, who lives out of state, came in to visit for a surprise for my wife. And that was on, when the heck was Sunday she arrived. Okay. And I had to keep that hush. I knew about that for like a month, and it's like, oh man. Anyway, now understand this. I love my sister-in-law dearly. She's a great, great lady, but you know what? She's a flaming liberal. Okay. I mean, liberal in the dictionary is her picture. Not one of these Karens. No, not a Karen liberal, but a quiet liberal. And those, I would argue, are more dangerous because, man, Okay, so anyway, she's a quiet liberal. We don't agree on anything. As a matter of fact, I have to sign my wife makes me sign papers that I will not talk politics when she's in the house. My house. I love my wife dearly. And I said, you know what? I'll say whatever I want to say, but I'm nice. I'm reasonable. So, okay. Now, RT, you kind of know me, right?
Mm-hmm.
When have I ever listened to anybody?
It just comes and goes.
It does. It depends on
It depends on the circumstances.
All right. So, I was nice. I did not speak about politics or any political hot button issues until yesterday. Now, yesterday, I was informed the night before that yesterday I had to drive my sister-in-law to it pains me to even say these words, a pickleball game, whatever, I don't know, practice, whatever they do. Now,
a goal ball.
Yeah, ask me how I feel about pickleball. The name, everything is wrong about even the name is wrong. Okay,
how do you feel about pickleball? Sir?
Yeah, I don't even know what the hell that is, right? So either, well, yeah. So okay, fine. So she gets in the car, and I'm thinking, okay, so now. And okay, she is a fierce anti-gun. I mean, she is so fierce anti-gun. So
she does not look around in her car very much.
Oh, man. So I have a very, very nice 12 gauge that with a great magazine that is in the back of the vehicle. Now you have to look this. I mean, you'd have to be looking to see it. Okay, but it's there. And I'm strapped with my everyday carry. She doesn't even know that. So she gets in, and we get about now where this is. It kind of rankled me a little bit because, and if you're listening, I know you're not, but Cheryl, no, don't take it personally.
She might be a closet conservative, though.
Oh, yeah, she'd go over there and slap you if that was a good. Yeah, just for saying that. But no, you know what? Honestly, she is a liberal that will sit down and have a discussion with you and will attempt to see your side. And I have actually converted her on a few things. Okay, so but there's still that edge. No guns. Oh my gosh, no guns. Anyway, so taking advantage of the situation, being alone with her in a heavy vehicle, I decided to engage. Doug Hagmann mode, engaged. So I said, well, I really think I'm going to, you know what? You want to stop at a gun store on the way back? Because if I have to pick you up, I need to stop and I need to pick up a few things. So, you know how I feel about guns. Now, she was nice about it. Of course, I am I'm a total asshole now, right? Because now, okay, the door's open. I opened the door and I walked in and I'm being like a total asshole. And I said, well, what? You don't like guns? And so on and on. Now, we have a road in our town, and she mistakenly made her reservation for whatever this stupid thing is on the other side of Erie. So I figured, okay, I will be intelligent and I will take what is known as the Bayfront Highway. This is a road. Whoever thought this road up should be drawn and quartered, and I don't know. But now it wants to be a quasi interstate. But apparently there's like 7 or 8 different speed limits on this road. Plus there's construction, and they're putting in those communist roundabouts. I don't care what anyone says. Those communist roundabouts, those roundabouts are communist. I don't like them. I don't like pickleball. Why?
You don't like pickleball?
I do not.
Sure.
I don't know what it is, but I don't like the name, and I'm not interested.
You're positive.
Why? You know something I don't? Oh, you.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. I don't know. Look.
So busted. You were a letterman in high school in pickleball?
What the hell did you do? You're scaring me.
Don't show them out on the phone pole, Eric.
Holy crap. All right. You know what? So I'm going to, okay, well, let me finish the story. But since you put that up, you're going to put up the original, where that picture came from, because okay, so I'll give you the, I'm going to show you the creds.
He's getting a little defensive now.
Okay, so, yeah, you know, I'll give you a little history. Oh, put it down.
That's great.
The picture was taken in 1979. Okay. Disco, baby. Disco. Yeah. So anyway, I decided to take the Bayfront, and the Bayfront's all hacked up. So anyway, so I'll hurry up here. So I'm talking to her about guns and the Second Amendment, and we should all be wearing carrying guns, and et cetera, et cetera. And of course, now she's getting a little bit riled, and I'm getting riled. So I'm going over this monstrosity piece of crap Democratic road to nowhere. Okay. And I didn't look, I never really go over that side of town. I don't care. I don't want to go over there. Anyway, I'm going up, and I am like intense. My discussion, I'm driving, my discussion's intense. And all of a sudden I look in the mirror and I see, oh crap. I mean, I got lights coming, oh man, here it comes. I got to pull over. I'm getting stopped. And she said, well, you're going pretty fast. But I know. So I pull over, and the cop walks up to me and says, license, registration, proof of insurance. So I immediately said, or he said, do you know why I stopped you? I said, yeah, because I'm white. He stopped me because I'm white. And then I demanded to see a supervisor, and I said, I don't have to tell you anything because I'm traveling. I'm not driving. I'm traveling. And then he broke the window out of the side and hauled me off to jail. Now, I'm kidding. Here is the lesson for today. Really simple. He said, he walked up to the window and he said, driver's license, this stuff. And he said, I stopped you because you're going a little fast. And I said, I'm sorry. Okay. He said, you have any idea how fast you're going? No. He said, you're going 65. And I figured, that's hot,
So?
Yeah. So the speed limit here is 35.
Oh.
He said, now, 65 it was a little more than 65, but I'll just say 65. I said, okay. Anyway, bottom line was this. Kind of anticlimactic now, but the bottom line was this. He walked back up to the car, handed me my documents back, and said, look, slow down. Because, he asked where I was going. A beautiful question for the people, the sovereigns out there, right? He asked where I was going. At that point, I should have demanded the supervisor and started screaming. I didn't do nothing. Anyway, I told him, I said, hey, look, pickleball. That's all I said, look, pickleball. And I had this, anyway, my eyes, to the audio listeners, don't even come to the video, okay? Don't see that. Anyway, he must have seen the pain, anguish, anxiety in my face, my eyes, the tears forming, my forehead,
And he could smell a liberal.
Yeah, and he could also recognize a conservative. So anyway, he said, slow it down. Have a nice day. Here's why I mention all that. Because I like to talk. I like to hear myself talking. I thought it was funny. But, that encounter took all of like 4 minutes. And I was going almost twice the speed limit. But here's the thing. I didn't mouth off. I didn't say, you can litigate in court, but don't litigate or don't attempt to litigate on the side of the road.
No. And you know what? You can really get out of trouble if you shut up.
Exactly.
And be respectful.
And by the way, she was horrified with all the weapons in the car. I'm like this weapons dealer, right? The cop was so, no big deal, everything's fine. But the whole encounter, 4 minutes, no argument, nothing. And folks, listen, impress that. Impress the cooperation to your offspring, your grandkids. Now, there is a time not to comply, but that wasn't it.
No.
So anyway, so lesson learned. Okay, now, RT, hang on a second. Now,
yes,
because you put that on, you put the entire paper article up, okay? Go ahead. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Because that photo, no, on Eric Detective.
I don't know.
That newspaper article was
Sorry, I didn't do it to you, buddy.
Come on, man. The original, where you got that photograph, and I should have never sent it to you because
he'll never tell. He wants everybody to think it was last week.
Yeah, really. Well, but here's the issue on that. I've done, look, a lot of life, I did a lot of things, and sometimes people say, well, you're talking out your ass because you don't know shit, right? And pardon my French, but that's, yeah, I do. That article was from, I think it was July 21st, 1979. And I was named acting manager of a private ambulance service in Venango County, Pennsylvania. We covered a lot of the county. It was Oil Creek Area Ambulance Service in 1979. And it was right up. It had some of my bona fides in there, including I was at the time an EMT instructor, trainer. I actually trained instructors. I was on the board of the CPR, American Heart Association, CPR Council. And don't even put it up. But that, just to give you context of that, where that came from.
That's how
you were a pickleball captain.
And that's how I explained that doll that he had at his house.
With CPR Annie. Yeah. Remember those?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
We did it in high school. We had to do it in high school. We had to learn it. That was a long time ago.
Okay, so and those were kind of heavy and bulky. Okay,
yes.
And I actually, and this is a true story too. After I was one of my classes was being audited because I taught CPR to people. I taught CPR to cops, and anyway, I actually knocked. In true story, I was carrying one of those CPR Annie, and I turned around, and it was just a perfect move. I actually knocked out. I mean, I knocked this woman out cold. She was auditing the class I was teaching. She was the board.
Seriously.
Oh, no, I swear. Oh my gosh. I mean, how that's me.
That's perfect timing, baby.
She was actually, she bent over for something. I swung around. It was like a comedy sketch. I swung around and I clocked her right on the side of the head.
Awesome.
It was closer to the back, but the side. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
All right. I'll shut up now. But the true stories, all of them, except, true story. So there you have it. So that was after that picture was taken in the disco era. My apologies for the eye strain or the eye problems. Okay, to everyone. All right. So RT, what's on your mind? Now, come on, let's do. Now you go. Come on.
I'm just the whole Trump assassination thing, attempted assassination. We had another one.
Yep.
And I don't know. I watched the videos. I watched the Secret Service. I was not impressed. Primarily the one, and I do know this from personal security when I used to do it. Primarily the one where the guy runs right at the Secret Service agent, and the Secret Service agent ducks and backs away. You know what I mean?
I don't think that was a Secret Service. I think that was
no, the guy drew that. Well, whatever.
The one that drew, whatever. I think he was a cop. I think he was.
Whatever. He was wrong. You're supposed to stop the person cold.
Okay.
If they get past you and your charge is on the other side of you, they have access to your charge. You failed.
Well, okay, a few things that maybe people don't know, and I'll just interject this. Number one, I've been in that hotel. I stayed at that hotel. Yay me, right? But I kind of know the layout. It's been a while, but I know the layout. And where that happened, where he rushed that he started running, that was on the floor above where the dinner was. Okay, so a lot of people don't know that. So
I just say he should have body checked him or clotheslined him.
100%.
It should be reflexive. That's your job. That's what you do for a living. Yeah, I did it for a couple of years, and he would have never got past me.
Well,
as soon as he broke.
But I mean, he looked so surprised, didn't he?
Well, that's the thing. You got to be on the ball. You are looking for anything when you're doing personal security. I mean, anything. And he had it lucky. He wasn't dealing with a crowd.
Right.
You know what I mean? He had, from what I saw, he saw the guy 20 feet away coming.
I didn't get that. To me, it looked like he was absolutely 100% surprised, and he never saw that. He never saw that guy coming. That's what I thought.
But he should have.
But he should have. That's true. So, okay.
That was my J.D. Vance being taken out before Trump.
Yeah.
There was just a couple anomalies that kind of struck me as odd. I think that you and I could have laid out better security.
So I made a call this morning, and I got the scoop on some things, and I wasn't even going to talk about it, but since you brought it up, so there are three levels of security. That was the mid level security. The external security, which was pretty. I mean, it was okay, but the checks began like about a block away, and then the closer in, then you had the first layer, the middle layer, and then the.
Well, they weren't counting on somebody staying in the hotel.
That is exactly what I was saying.
And they should have known that. They should not known that. They should have been prepared for it. You have to be prepared for anything if that's your line of work.
100%.
Because people's lives depend on you.
Yeah.
Your reflexes. Everything you do. You got to be on the whole time. On. There's no, even when you're laughing and joking with the other people, you got to be on. But in those times like that, you're really, I'll be honest with you, if you're working with others, you're really not laughing and joking. It's serious.
What about, well, you've seen the videos, the different angles of the videos.
Mm-hmm.
What about the response of the people, and what about the? I mean,
they were more interested in hijacking wine out of the place.
Yeah, I think out of 189 bottles, I think 144 were stolen or something like that.
Yeah,
very close.
Outrageous amount of money stolen in wine.
Yeah,
I mean, absolutely outrageous. And some people were shopping the wine. Well, I don't like that year. Set it down. Look at it.
Exactly.
It was pigs. The people were pigs.
There is a.
The media are the pigs work.
There is a video of that, I think.
Yes, of the woman shopping the wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But by the way, Leon, thank you very much. God bless you, man, if you're listening. Folks, have you seen that video? I mean, the hubris of these people were, okay, what does that say to you, RT, about...
They're wrong. They're as you said, they're pigs work. They don't care that the president was somebody just tried to kill the president, and then to sit around and spin it just like Butler, that he arranged this. Really, that kid laying on the ground there, face down, and it didn't look like it was arranged to me.
I'll just say that. Yeah, it certainly did. I mean, no, the staging is a bunch of crap. People who say Butler was staged, you're out of your friggin' mind. I'll tell you what, you should have rode with RT and myself.
Once again, the good Lord was looking out for him. Once again. And thank goodness, because his security detail, I know he likes them, talks to them and everything like that, and he's pals with them. You know what? There's some of them on there that need to go.
Well,
and the supervisor, like I said, you and I could have laid out better security, though, with the same manpower.
I'm not sure I'd have faith in myself. Look, I know you could.
I do. The two of us, absolutely. Because what I would miss, you would catch. What you would miss, I would catch.
Yeah, I guess. But for people who are paid to do that,
mm-hmm.
Okay, so I sent you this, Eric the Tech. I think I did send. Yeah, Eric, I sent you this as well. How many times has President Trump been in the crosshairs, metaphorically speaking? And it doesn't look. Would I say this about Biden? I would have to. You don't shoot a president. You don't go after. You do not do that. You just don't. Okay. Did you realize that? Let's see. I'm going to count them. 2016, when President Trump was campaigning.
None thus far have done anything so heinous that I would go.
You mean presidents?
Yes.
No, I would like to see, like, for example, Biden and his handlers brought up charges.
Yeah, absolutely. Supposedly Comey's been brought up on charges.
Yeah, but you know what?
But I don't.
You know why? For his shell positioning 8647. Okay, for putting these shells, for threatening the president. Okay, I don't know how I feel about that. How do you feel about that?
They need to go back to the original charges of treason in his last presidency. They need to go back there and start there. And there's a whole list of people, including Barack Hussein Obama, that need to be arrested. There's a list of people. You know it.
I know.
I mean, it's just and Adam Schiff, everybody that had anything to do with that Steele dossier. I mean, anybody that touched it needs to be brought up on charges, because anybody that even saw it should have thrown it under the bus. Somebody should have went to somebody and said, "This is wrong."
Okay, no, we're going to pick that up on the other side of this. So people know, because I don't know how many people really know how many attempts there were on President Trump's life. Now, when we took the Butler investigative assignment, we were given this background information, not this, but background information on prior attempts. So I'm just going to throw that out there. And this is what's public. Now, there are some private, two times. I can't even say that. Just say that. I'll just say this. This is what the public is aware of. So 2016, if you can put that back up, Eric the Tech, thank you. 2016, March 12th, 2016, Dayton, Ohio, Thomas D. Massimo, a 22-year-old moron, rushed the stage. Now, I think we all saw that. I remember that. He was charged. Here's the thing. He was tackled by Secret Service. And I tell you what, if you get tackled by Secret Service, RT, tell me what you feel about this. If you get tackled by Secret Service, you're that close to a presidential candidate, a serious one. Yep. Shouldn't you? He was sentenced to charged with disorderly conduct. And you know what? He got probation. What the hell? All right. June 18th, 2016, Vegas. Michael Steven Sanford. This has, we looked at this, and this has got some, this bears additional investigation. This Sanford guy, 20, he's a British national, attempted to grab police officer's pistol at a Trump rally at the Treasure Island Hotel and Casino. He said he's going to kill President Trump, or then candidate Trump. He was arrested on the spot, sentenced to 12 months, and deported. Now, Wikipedia says this was explicitly described in official records as an assassination attempt, but you know what? There's more to that. Just dig, folks. That's all I want to say on that. North Dakota in 2017, in the Philippines in 2017, November. ISIS, 2018, October, and then again, September and then October. Ricin mailings. So these mailings tested positive for a castor bean substance. A Canadian national mailed a ricin letter in 2020. And it goes. And in 2024, folks, you can read that, and there are others. So there's more than just, and also in the additional notes, if you scroll down there, if you want to just note that, Iranian-linked murder for hire plots. And people will say, well, wait a second, that's all staged. No, it's not. Those aren't. And this is key. And then RT, you can chime in on this, because this is what we could do an entire show on this one sentence. Farhad Shakiri and others in late 2024. They were involved in this. The way this is worded is not necessarily, I don't like the way this is worded, but they impersonated police officers. at an Air Force base, near an Air Force base. This is not a correct, I will say this is not a complete report, and it understates what happened there. But I ask you, how is that even possible today? It's happening more than you know. The impersonation of officials. Just saying. Orty, what do you think? I mean,
well, it's so easy to get your hands on uniforms and the stuff you need. I was watching a video the other day, and it's these masks that they sell, and they're so lifelike. You put these things on, wrap it around your head, and I mean, everything works, your mouth, your eyes, and it completely changes who you look like. I mean, completely. These masks.
Excuse me? Say again? I mean, explain that.
These masks are so lifelike and so well done that it literally can change your identity. Literally. And it's not difficult to put on. You don't need makeup. You don't need anything. These masks are it scares people that have seen these masks in person. It scares them so much they think they should be outlawed.
Where can I pick one of these masks up?
I was thinking about getting a couple of them too. They said you can get celebrities and everything, and you will look just like them. People do not know it's a mask. They don't know it.
What is it? Is it a silicone type thing that goes over your head?
Yeah, it goes right over your head, right over your cheeks, everything. It's perfect, Doug. It goes right on your chin. It's amazing.
Beats the heck out of those plastic masks with that thin rubber band that we used to wear as kids, right?
Like little Abner.
Yeah.
That's the one I had when I was a kid.
I know.
We couldn't afford anything, man. You were a ghost or you didn't go.
I'll tell you what, the sheet, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why I never liked Halloween, and I never went trick-or-treating as a kid.
Yeah. So, my mom was a little rough on Halloween costumes. And she was rough on Christmas, too. I had to be Santa Claus in a school play.
Yeah.
So she takes some of my dad's long underwear and dyes it. And it literally comes out pink. Yeah. Puts me in it, stuffs a pillow in my belly, takes one of her big black costume belts, puts it around me. And I had to stand on the side of the stage in front of the whole school, parents and everything, for like an hour reading, looking like a pink Santa. I kid you not. It was the most embarrassing night of my life.
Did you sing It's a Hard Knock Life or whatever? I mean,
no, I did my reading and then I wanted to just melt and go away. It was so embarrassing, Doug. Pink. That's the closest she could get.
I feel your pain, but I know.
Oh man, pink, long underwear.
Seriously. Wow. Okay.
Look like something out of a Western.
And well, yeah. Wow, man, that
was bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So the Comey thing you mentioned in the Russiagate.
Yeah.
I'm having a problem with all of this because John Solomon got on with a guy I'm not even going to name and said, you know what, watch, everything's coming. Everything's coming. I mean, all hell's going to break loose against these treasonous people. And now the new thing is all these indictments, or there have been indictments. Where the heck is it? Folks, did you see these? RT, did you see the indictments that were made? I think a lot of the indictments were involving.
Yeah, there were a couple of them because somebody was making comparisons between Bondi and this and the new
that.
Yeah,
and Blanche.
Yeah.
So you've been involved in the legal arena
a little bit.
So
on both sides of it.
On both sides of it. Oh, haven't we all? Yeah.
What would you like to know, sir?
So tell me this: how long has Blanche been in that position?
Month and a half.
Chad,
not very long. No, not very long.
Okay, so now all of these indictments are rolling out.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what the hell Bondi was doing.
Do you think maybe that Bondi had a lot of the groundwork done and Blanche? No, look,
just walked in and did the work.
Well,
handed it out. It almost seems like they were sitting on the desk, and Lord knows what she was waiting for.
Yeah, you don't. To me, having been involved, we've been involved in the legwork for the indictment, for the meat of the indictments. Okay, so I got to tell you, RT, it takes a while, right? I mean, to really get for one indictment, you might. It depends. Okay,
It's also exactly because maybe he's willing to run with a little less.
That's true.
We've had long discussions on the show about that. Circumstantial evidence.
Yeah.
And I just think she was dragging her heels for whatever reason. I think she's part of the problem, honestly.
I do as well. I'm not a fan.
I just think Bondi's. I don't really trust her. I never did trust her.
No, well, look at her history. Look at her involvement with other cases.
Yes, sir.
Her stuff in Florida. Nah, man.
Nah. Yeah, she didn't get my vote.
Nah. So okay. Now, exactly to your point about the. Well, I would classify this as the infiltration of enemies into our country. Look, we are fully captured. Think of New York City. You got a Muslim mayor, Muslim communist mayor,
who's already screwed up. He's already in the toilet.
Right. Of course, hey, I need money, right? Because great surprise.
One more thing on that guy that went after Trump.
Yeah.
In his manifesto, why was he okay with Kash Patel? You know what I mean? Yeah, he was blah, 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 except Kash Patel. And then when I was looking at all the footage of the video and everything, Kash Patel was sitting there like nothing was happening at the hotel.
Do you happen to have that video? Look, this is the first time I heard that. I did not.
Yeah.
Was the manifesto published in its entirety?
Portions of it anyway.
Okay. Do you have the video handy?
No, I don't.
Okay.
No.
So this shooter, who was a liberal from California, liberal teacher from California, wow, was okay with Kash Patel.
Yeah. Yep.
Chet, did you hear anything about that? Can anyone in chat point us to where that we were? Okay, news to me. I would have questions, and if I was Kash Patel, I'd be, I'm glad I'm not, but I would be. Okay, what's going on here? I don't want anyone to be.
Well, here they're saying, all right, Kash Patel not on Cole Allen's kill list, possibly because he's Hindu. That is NDTV.
All right. Well, now somebody in the chat has said all of Bondi's stuff had to go through Blanche. Bondi was a figurehead. Well, okay. Bondi was the head of the Department of Justice. Now, she does not necessarily do all of the work. That's why you have the deputy, kind of like the FBI, same thing. So the worker would be Blanche in this case, pushing up through Bondi. Is that what you're implying?
Maybe. I mean,
who was that? Crucifix Files.
I just don't think that there was a difference of a week or a month in this. You know what I'm saying?
No.
That one leaves and a month later the other one comes out with the charges. That just is too fishy. He either went in there and busted everybody's ass for 30 days. You know what I mean? And maybe ran with a little less. But That's too close, Doug.
Yeah,
That is too close of a period of time and shift in management for that to happen. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I've got a hard time
There's
with this.
There's something not right about it.
Right.
And then that falls into question is why did the files just sit on somebody's desk? What was the deal? Were they sitting there and waiting to go? What happened? I don't know.
Okay, good questions. I think we need answers, and I do think the indictment against Comey, and I can understand, for example, because in the indictment, the charges and such, there is a clause in there, an asset forfeiture clause, but to me, I looked at that indictment. I thought a very weak indictment. Okay, if you're actually going after him for
treason.
Well, no, I mean, it was essentially threatening the president by way of seashells or rocks or whatever they were on the beach.
On the beach, yeah.
Right. So, okay.
There's a much stronger case out there besides that.
Exactly.
I mean, come on, man. Really? That's almost embarrassing.
Right.
There's a much stronger case out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And Kash Patel, again, he wrote I presumably he wrote the book. I mean, everything I write. I don't have ghostwriters. I don't use AI or anything. But presumably he wrote Government Gangsters. He knows the treason stuff. He called it treason in his book.
Yeah, I would like to think, as the head of the FBI, he knows what treason is.
I hope so.
I mean, the clear definition of it, and the Lord knows that Comey qualifies. But there should be a whole list of people haven't been arrested.
Yeah, where's Brennan? Brennan was a big part of this.
Hillary Clinton
and Barack Obama.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not a secret anymore that Barack Hussein Obama authorized all of this. It's not a secret.
Susan Rice, Samantha Power, all of these, and I would even throw Jennifer Psaki or whatever her name is.
Psaki,
or circle back.
There's a whole pile of these people. There would be a long line waiting outside the jail. And they need their doors kicked in, just like they treated Trump, just like they treated Stone. They need to be treated like criminals. This crap should go two ways. They do it. They have no problem doing it to Republicans. And what is with this Omar Ilhan and the Republicans voting to protect her? Every one of those bastards needs to be dragged out of there.
How? Okay. Are you referring to what? It was a week ago?
Yeah, Nancy Mace went after her, yeah.
Right.
With legislation, and they killed it. Why? Why? Because the money-making apparatus will be exposed. They're all insider traders. Okay. They're thieves. And they're inside trading. They're breaking the law. They're getting money from the government. These people, we are so screwed with our Congress.
But Omar, so let me pull this up. You mentioned
what a den of thieves.
I get that, but so Omar, to me, okay, Omar, number one. Lied to get in the country. Okay, right. Okay, right. She's guilty in my view. Okay, she should. No, let me just rephrase that. In my view, she should be investigated for fraud, for making fraudulent statements or false statements on official government documents. So that is to get in the country. There's that, and then of course that would make her ineligible to be a citizen, let alone assume office as a U.S. member of the House, member of the U.S. House. And then, of course, all of the business dealings. And I saw this, and I don't know if you saw this or if you can explain this to me. Let me just see if I can bring this up. She changed her financials. Did you see this? And I just, this is a good one. Okay. Eric the Tech, I'm going to send this to you right now. You got to see, whoops, wait a minute. Hang on. You got to see this.
I got a funnier one.
Is it the World War?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I'm saying there to Eric. Folks, did you see this? Okay. This hurt. This is an affront to every American patriot, every American. 12 seconds. Here it is, Eric. Jeez. But so her financials are changed. She's cozy with Walls and Flanagan over in Wisconsin. She undoubtedly, I can't say that. I suspect that if you would look at her financials, you would see all the stuff all the money that kickbacks from the fraud. She's in bed with a lot of these, perhaps literally, with some of these people engaged in fraud. The fraud in Wisconsin is the worst in the country per capita. Okay, so
she's nothing but a fraud.
Yeah,
in every aspect. Every time you turn around, you dig more into her. She's a fraud.
So,
but because of her relationship with her brother, that's why she wasn't too upset when she got liquid squirted in her face during the press conference. She thought her bro would come home.
Smells just like it too. It was apple cider vinegar, and it smells just like it. Okay. And
Eric, let me know if my video came in right behind Doug's.
Okay. Here is the humorous, not really, kind of. It's an affront to every American. Go ahead and fire it off, Eric.
The last time the Alien Enemies Act was invoked, it was used to detain and deport German, Japanese, Italian immigrants during World War XI.
That hurts me.
Oh, man. That's painful. She's in Congress, man. She's making laws. Can you dig that?
She should be deported just for that.
Stupid. What kind of literacy test? Something is really wrong here, Doug. Something is really, really wrong if that's where we're at with our lawmakers. She should be gone. And she's the fraud that she's committed in Minnesota, that she's up to her eyeballs in with Keith Ellison.
Yeah.
Okay. These are people that should be in jail. I've never liked Keith Ellison. In fact, I'm a Christian and I hate Keith Ellison.
I'm going to tell you something, folks. Randy Taylor, I got like, holy cow, man. He is always, he's been hammering in our conversations, Keith Ellison.
God,
and rightfully so.
Since the first time I saw that son of a bitch.
Well,
since the first time.
Ellison's dangerous for a lot of reasons. Yeah. Okay.
We knew he was trouble. And then, it's one thing being a congressman, okay? But then you become the AG. That means you decide what you're going to prosecute and what you don't. And I'm going to bet there's stacks of cases with Muslims he didn't prosecute. I'll put money on it. Well, I don't have any money, but I'll bet you.
Yeah. Now, Eric the Tech, I sent you one other video just now, and RT. This to me, I found extremely important to really focus on. Look, you can laugh about the World War XI, and as well we should, and mock these people about World War XI, as well we should. But really, the actionable, truly actionable things involve money. All right. The video that I sent Eric and RT is 30 seconds, and she's getting, it's the headline and the video, but she's getting actually called out about the revising her financial statement. But before we play that, RT, and ladies and gentlemen, look, RT is joining me tonight from Tennessee. Don't be fooled by the elegant background, okay? Because relatives, you know what? Relatives open the door. I'm going to just say that, RT, Randy Taylor's house.
I'm at a relative's house, but I'm using a background.
Right.
I'm not exposing my relatives. No.
Yeah, but you've been through the mill, and you have served this country. You have in ways that people will never know. The reason I bring this up is because yes, RT still has a recovery fund, and I just want you to speak to that, Randy Taylor. Speak to your recovery fund, because you do. You're on the ropes, and but you changed the address.
Yes, I did. I've been really set back on the ropes financially here in my family. We've taken a real beating last year, with me having lost both legs, and with no warning. I mean, I lost one leg in February, and then turned around and lost the other in October. Both amputations below the knee. No help. Fighting with the VA, they were of no help. We just went in the weeds financially. I mean, to the tune of 50,000 plus. And anyway, I've got a recovery fund, and I shortened the email address. We do everything through PayPal, and all you do is go to PayPal and enter this email address, and that's help, HELP, for the digit 4, the number 4, RT. So help for RT at gmail.com. Once again, that's through PayPal, and that is help, the number 4, RT at gmail.com. And anything that you can do to help us out financially as a gift, it's very appreciated. I've had a lot of people have helped us, and we're slowly clawing our way out of this mess. And the ones that have helped us, I want to say thank you. I love you, and we're so blessed to know you and have you in our lives. And God bless you. I pray every night for you. And anyway, that's my spiel. And I just wanted to say thank you. Okay.
RT, you've earned that right to ask, and I'll just say, folks, with obviously with my blessing, but certainly it would be nice if you could be made whole again. It's just because I know what you and there's so much more.
Yeah, every time you turn around, it was something. You just to come home. There's things had to be done in the home just so I could come home from the hospital. Every door or doorway in the house had to be enlarged. You know what I mean? And ramps and just everything. You turn around, no rugs allowed in the house. You had to get them out because wheelchairs and commodes, the wheel commode, which everybody else gets up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. I've got to hop on this little thing and wheel it to the bathroom and try and do my business in there and everything. It really changed our lives. And it's been really hard on my wife and my daughter. Just incredible.
So
stress and strain.
Well, let me ask you. Do you have the prosthetics at all, or
yes, sir. Yeah, I've got one prosthetic on the left. That's pretty much the final prosthetic, and then I'm still in process on the right. And let me tell you, the government doesn't do anything for you. There's no help. Now, if I was never mind, I'm not gonna.
No, we should. I'm not gonna say let me finish that. Now, if you were a Somali daycare owner or in the healthcare service in Wisconsin and changed your name to Abdul, yeah, you'd be golden. But see,
thief.
Yeah, I said it for you.
Yeah, I'm not a thief. And ladies and gentlemen, the folks that have helped me, thank you so much. I love you. You know that. And there's a lot of good people out there, and I know times are tough. And there's some people I know their finances are horrible, and I wouldn't take money from them. They got a hold of me, and I told them, no, do not send money, because I know them personally, and they don't have anything, but they want to send money, and I wouldn't take it.
I've seen, actually, and we both have done this. I've returned donations to people who have sent.
And I know that, Doug. I know that.
Yeah,
I know that
because
to be true.
No, you don't know. You got to take care of yourself first.
No.
And yeah. So, okay, folks, a new page.
Thank you.
Give out that address one more time, please. And
Okay.
I'll make sure it's in the description box here.
It is help for the digit 4 RT at gmail.com. Help for RT at gmail.com. And that's available through PayPal.
Sounds good. Okay.
Well, thank you.
All right. Now, Eric Tech, I sent you this. This is Omar. This is a 30-second snippet of Ilhan Omar being confronted by Allison in the Know. It's at Allison in the Know. Lindell TV, a Lindell TV reporter, asking about the change, because when her financials, as required as a rep, were made public, obviously she denied everything, but then all of a sudden her financials changed. She revised her financial disclosure from $30 million, to what's her net worth now? Around 100 grand.
Unbelievable.
Uh-huh.
Unbelievable.
When does that happen? Never.
Only in our country, we oh man. I don't understand. See, that's why I think that the Republicans shot down Nancy Mace with the filing on the immigration fraud, because it was going to lead to people explaining where they get the money. We know they insider trade.
That is really okay. That's
It's
a good
like
point.
that. And the thing that pisses me off, you want to put a U.S. Special Forces soldier in jail for it,
Right.
but you won't touch a congressman for it. That is wrong.
But you know,
If I had to let somebody go, I would let the soldier go and put the congressman in jail.
where I stand here, and folks, I hope this resonates with you. Outrage is not evidence. Outrage is not action. We need action. Although outrage is acceptable, it should not be confined to outrage. Go ahead, Eric. Play that segment.
Congresswoman Omar, the last time I spoke to you, you said that I was stupid for asking you about your financial disclosure, but there's some discrepancies on there. Would you like to explain that? How did you make such a big mistake on it?
Absolutely, you're stupid for asking me anything.
I am?
Yes.
Well, what about the American people who are wondering how you made such a big
I have
mistake?
explained to the American people.
What's the explanation?
I have given them the explanation.
Do you want to tell our viewers? Because they're
I don't want to tell you jack shit.
Oh.
How about that?
Okay.
Okay. Have a good day.
Thank you, Congresswoman.
Yeah, let that run again. What the hell? RT, did you catch what she said?
I'd like to push her face in.
Yeah, me too.
I just can't believe she's acting. The sense of entitlement, Doug, is blowing my mind.
All of these illegal
When
alien
they come in, they
invaders.
act like we owe them something. I don't know them jack. You don't owe them anything. Honestly, your taxpayers are already being sucked out of you.
Can you imagine, like 1981, seeing this is going to be your new representative?
No, I cannot.
Holy crap! And the fact that she often addresses the public or constituents in Somali language. Oh, I guess that's fitting, because that's what Walt's allowed, and cultivated, and actually facilitated. Is this?
There should have been a competency test when that bitch was trying to run for office.
Well, there should have been an allegiance screening too.
Something.
But
And that's the thing. Her allegiance is not to the United States of America. And that's what people are not understanding. She is not loyal to the country. She is loyal to her pocketbook and to Somalia. And that's it. That's it. Somalia. come on, this is back with this whole Keith Ellison thing, and I know in my soul, and I never could prove it, because if I could, I would have presented it myself to put him in jail. But I'm telling you, he's involved. He was involved when they were finding those youth, those young men over in Africa that were directly from Minneapolis.
Right. Right.
And were now in Al Qaeda training camps. Do not tell me that he was not involved. He was involved when he was AG.
Expand on that, if you don't mind.
They were all right. They were raiding when it died down.
Let me add this, folks, for clarification and context. Randy Taylor was involved in, actually did the legwork, did the investigation, and found and verified information that put Ellison in a control position to. Well, I'll let you explain it, but I just want to make sure people know that it was you that did the verification. Go ahead.
They were running raids in Africa on Al Qaeda training camps. He used to always focus in the Middle East, and then it moved into the African Horn, and they started focusing in there. And they were finding, when they would do these raids in Africa, they were finding young men, that had left Somalia, went to Minneapolis, then turned around and were shipped to the African Horn and were training in Al Qaeda camps. I want you to stop and think about that. Okay? I want you to stop and think about that. They didn't go from Somalia to the Al Qaeda training camps. No. There was a big step in there. It was called Minneapolis, the Tri-Cities area, Keith Ellison's area. And this is back when he was a congressman. Then he went into being an attorney general. So now I want you to stop and think about that. Now he controls who gets prosecuted and who doesn't, provided it doesn't fall under the FBI's realm. There's a federal crime. But the point is, this man is crooked as a day is long. And now you find out that he's involved in this fraud all over the state. He's known about it, along with Twinkle Toes, the governor. The governor.
Yeah.
That one. Yeah. We got a problem, ladies and gentlemen. And here's the thing. What are they going to do about it? That's what I want to know. What, Doug, if you did it, you'd be in prison the rest of your life. If I did it, I'd be in prison the rest of my life. And these people are doing this. These congressmen that voted to not have Ilhan Omar looked into, prosecuted, investigated, the ones that killed that, are the ones that are up to no good themselves in Congress. They're breaking the law.
Yep.
They're breaking the law, and they're so well insulated that they protect each other, because the only one that can really come after them is someone in Congress. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
And when they approved these huge aid packages, back with Biden, when they were cranking the money over to Ukraine, every one of them had money coming back in. I'm telling you, they know how to hide it, but they were getting money back from money being sent overseas. That's why Ukraine's always been a problem. It's a huge washing machine for money. That's why it's so fought. Why do you think we don't give a damn about them being in NATO? Kiss my butt. It had nothing to do with that. This is because of these companies that are already in place over there, the natural gas, the banking system. It is a black market central, man. The black market through Ukraine is unbelievable. Human trafficking off the planet for the whole Eastern Bloc, They got it. Okay? So when your little girls disappear, a lot of them end up in Ukraine. And don't think they don't, because I know different.
Notice the destination is not Russia.
Yeah. Yeah. And the girls are snatched out of Russia, too. They end up in Ukraine, sex slaves. Sold all over the world. Now, if Doug and I want to finance an army, we can go to Ukraine and make that happen. If Doug and I had $1 billion in drug money and wanted to wash it, we can go to Ukraine and make that happen. I'm not kidding.
What do you think about?
And you know what? And you want to know what? Yeah, you want to know what? A congressman would probably call and pave the way for us. These people in Congress, okay, especially, here's the sad part. The only difference between a Republican and a Democrat in Congress is a lesser of an evil. That's it. That's your only difference.
True.
It makes me sick. It makes me sick. It makes me sick that these are the people. Do you think we stand a chance as a regular Joe going to work every day of we're not even safe? You know, and you got President Trump's up there trying to do the right thing. They're fighting with them. We're in a shambles right now. We're in a lot of trouble. Don't think that just because, you know, you're seeing a few good things at the top that everything's cool, because it is not. It is not cool. We're a long way from being cool. And that's, I'll just say both countries that I'm familiar with. One's a little worse than the other.
Well, look, all good points. And, you know what? Before people think that we're behind the times, or that video clip of World War XI, that's from January 2020. That is from January 2025.
Yeah,
okay,
but it's still funny.
Right. So, I mean...
And I think we should pick on Ilhan Omar until the day she dies.
Exactly. But, you know, it's regaining popularity, but okay.
Yeah. It reiterates how stupid she is.
Yes.
And how she has no business in Congress. Would you want somebody like that at the head of the classroom talking to your children on visitor day? No.
I'm trying to picture that.
The children would be smarter than her at any grade.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm serious. They could still be laying on the floor waiting for the wake-up fairy, and they'd be smarter than her.
100%.
But I don't understand the illiteracy as far as U.S. history and how this is allowed in a legislative house. I mean, what they're doing is shaping the future of the United States. And that's what we have. This shouldn't be allowed. These people are supposed to be attorneys. You know, your average congressman is do you realize that most congressmen are attorneys?
That used to be the case. Is it the case now?
No, look at this. You got Bozo the Clown for a legislator. She doesn't even understand U.S. law. She probably couldn't name the 50 states.
Or the 57 Muslim states is Barack Obama. Remember that?
Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, I remember that. Man,
Stephanopoulos?
Yes. I about fell out of my chair because I couldn't believe he actually said it.
Yeah. 57 states. I've been to all 50. Yeah, okay.
We got a real problem in this country, and Islam is behind it. And if we don't get really serious about it, there's going to be a problem. I had compiled, and if I'm on next week, I'll get the videos to Eric. But I've been compiling videos of Muslim men and how they treat their women.
Oh, man.
And unbelievable, the beatings. And you know what? I saw, and Doug, I might have sent it to you. We talked on this show, and I got questioned by a few people. And a gentleman came up on X, and he's a Muslim. And he has a video, it's probably the same video that I had, of Yazidi women having
Right.
their children taken away from them, the children being cooked, and the Yazidi women forced to eat them. I mentioned that before and took some ridicule from a few listeners. Question, like I made it up, and it came out on X again, and the guys got the video, and I'm going to try and get my hands on the video because I know for a fact what I saw.
There are postings on the dark web about that.
Yeah, and this was back when we were doing the counterterrorism work, and I saw the kid on the table after having been cooked. In the video I had, I wasn't sure that they were Yazidi, but it may have been. But I almost vomited.
Yeah.
I can take a lot of things.
What can you say about that?
Doug and I saw video beheadings. I have a video of every beheading that ever came out of Iraq from the Muslim groups. There isn't one that I don't have. And we used to sit there and listen as they were sawing through their necks, heaving for air through the, oh my God. And it didn't bother me as bad as the cooked kid.
Well, yeah. There is the inhumanity that exists today is biblical. I remember attending my first autopsy. Okay, you never forget your first time, right? I remember that, and boy, that was rough. I thought it was rough, and then subsequent autopsies, and you think, okay, you get used to it. Nah, I don't know. I don't know.
It takes a real special person to do an autopsy.
Yeah.
They have a special skill set that I just don't have.
But wow, so the reason I mentioned that is think about what Randy Taylor just described, and think about
and this was to prove a point,
right?
That's all this wasn't, to terrorize, because they wanted the complete control, and unbelievable. And the Yazidis, especially the Sunnis, slaughtered Yazidis at every opportunity. And I remember one video where a Yazidi girl had slipped away and married a Muslim guy. No, it was the other way around. Yes. And they hunted her down and killed her, like at her wedding. And you saw the whole thing. The videos we used to see, you used to sit there dumbfounded and not even really be able to speak about it. That's how these were. And we only put a couple up on the website, and we would get slammed with traffic. Unbelievable numbers. Traffic that websites pray for today. But we just couldn't.
That's when we had to pay for bandwidth.
And we couldn't do it and then a couple of reasons. Kind of some moral searches, I used to turn them over to the government, the videos, but to sit there and listen on the video to somebody gasping for air through an open throat.
Yeah, that was horrible.
That just keeps you awake at night. The cruelty.
And I look, we, just so people understand, we would put those up because the media was really sanitizing everything.
Oh yeah, that's back when right after 9/11, more pictures of the people jumping out of the buildings at all. They should have shown that for 10 years. They should have kept showing it, because maybe we wouldn't have a Muslim as mayor in New York today.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, but it's interesting to think that the government was our biggest. The biggest consumer of those videos, because the worker level, the counterterrorism agents they didn't have access to any of that.
No. Believe me, if they emailed and asked us, Doug gave it to them. We gave it to them. If an office, if a police department, sheriff's department, and him asked, they were welcome to the material. As long as it hadn't been deemed classified that I really shouldn't distribute it.
And that was a problem because it was really weird the way it played out was
you never knew.
Yeah, right. And boy, putting your short
sometimes I would give stuff to Doug, share it with Doug before I shared it with the government, and they get a little perturbed with me. But I told them it's mine.
Right.
I'll do what I wish. Thank you.
And so, do you think that's still? I mean, is that process of classification information out there? Is that still going on? We don't want that out there.
I don't know what's going on nowadays. I've been, it's like I mentioned before the show, I've been thinking about firing that back up. But I'm not doing it for free this time. Last time I did it, it cost me $500,000.
And a lot of sleepless nights.
And I did it for country. I love my country. I did it for my countrymen. I was not going to have another 9/11 while I was breathing. I wasn't going to allow it. And I worked day and night, plus running a company and 15 families depending on me. And you know what I mean? Did all that and just, I won't do that again though. It wrecked me. It's awful hard on
dent in all of us.
Yeah, it's hard on the soul. Doug knows what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard on your soul.
It does change you. I mean,
Yep.
it's and to really to know that our people within our government were involved in a lot of things.
It's a lot of responsibility, human responsibility and moral responsibility.
Yeah,
and then like Doug just said, and then finding out that. All right. Yeah.
Well,
that's that.
Okay, so on let's go back to Omar for a second because World War XI is kind of humorous, but did you know, folks, that the Republican Party in Minnesota, several members of the Republican Party had this ad hoc kind of group, and they hired a local private investigator to grab documents related to Omar, her brother. And this information made its way to the Department of Justice, made its way to people with the authority to prosecute Omar for fraud, but they didn't. Here's one parcel. Here's one. Eric, I sent this to you. It is just the top half. There it is right there. Now, I did not include the signatures or anything like that. This is just the top half. It's not mine to show, but nonetheless, I'm showing it. Marriage license application. People say, well, this is a bunch of BS. She didn't marry her brother. The talking points of the left. Well, look at that.
She did.
Because the PIs also ran, I'll just say this, they were able to get some DNA and they ran it through the equivalent of CODIS, if you will. Not really, but they ran the DNA through a private lab. They got a match to Ahmed Nur Sayed Elmi, and that just happens to be the very person she allegedly married. And there's the marriage application. So anyone who says that's BS, bite me.
Bite me.
There you go.
It's true. It's true. We've seen the entire one.
Yeah. So there it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the brother actually admitted it at one point, Doug, years ago.
And
actually admitted it. Like,
I've seen the brother, and there's a resemblance between the two.
I'll bet.
I mean, well, never mind.
But she did. She married her brother, and they documented the marriage so she could come into the country.
This is stuff that we.
This is fraud.
Nope.
And so she's not just she's not qualified to sit in Congress, but she's also a criminal. And that's the part that really bothers me, and that Congress voted to cover up her crime and stop the investigation.
Right.
They just voted on it within the last 2 weeks.
So, explain that to me, because I don't quite, maybe you can't, maybe no one can.
I just think that she's got dirt on somebody.
She's too stupid to have dirt on anybody.
Yeah, but she runs with that PAC. You know what I mean?
The squad.
That Rashid Tlaib and
AOC and Presley and yeah. Okay. Well, speaking along the same lines, the real life consequences of communists. Omar, Muslim, adherent to Islamic tenets. However, you go to people like Ellison, Islam, but the communist philosophy. And this is why I think, Marty, you and I speak about this. This is why I think history is so important. Eric the Tech, can you throw up? Let's go to the real life consequences. Let's go to Let's travel to Los Angeles. All right. Again, real life consequences. Remember the Palisades fire in Los Angeles?
Yes.
Yeah, about 40,000, more than 40,000 people living in a square mile. Their houses totally destroyed. Their lives gone. I think 8 people lost their lives from the fire. And you had Karen Bass going to Guyana. I don't know, wherever she went. All right. I just saw this, and I was able to authenticate this. This is disturbing. Okay, well, we had talked about Bass before, so if you can put up that attachment that I sent Eric the Tech, I'll pull that up here myself. Folks, Karen Bass. How many people remember that bombing in the Capitol in 1980, in the 80s, early 80s, 83? Yeah, okay, thank you.
You just can't seem to get rid of that picture.
I'm going to tell you what.
Eric, you're in trouble.
So, where did I put that? Hang on 1 second here. Where the heck did I put that? So, the bombing in the Capitol, she was a member of that group, that communist revolution group. You would think that I would. Okay, here we go. It was in 1983. I'm sorry. Ever since I'm trying to stay up to or get up to date in the 21st century. I'm trying to have my notes on digital.
We're dragging them, kicking and clawing into the 21st century.
So that picture, she was a member of this communist organization, the Venceremos Brigade, which was a pro-activist Cuban group in the 70s. She was a youngster in the 70s. Now, she traveled numerous times to Cuba.
Who is this?
This is Karen Bass.
Okay.
Karen Bass helped organize the Venceremos Brigade, which was a pro-Cuba activist group in the 1970s. She traveled to Cuba many, many times, supposedly for work projects. Now, she did not establish this group, but she kind of took it over. You can argue her role, but she had an active role in this group. Now, this group was responsible for the 1983 bombing at the U.S. Capitol. The group morphed into, and I won't get into all the backstop of this, but the group morphed into something called M19. Okay. The information out there has been scrubbed. A lot of people say, nah, she wasn't involved in this. Then why, if she wasn't involved in the bombing of the Capitol in 1983? You talk about J6ers. The bombing in the Capitol was horrendous.
Yeah.
Okay.
But something actually exploded.
Yeah. But if she wasn't involved, why did she receive a pardon from President Bill Clinton?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's false.
Same reason people got pardons there at the tail end from Biden. Yeah. Preemptive pardons. Something I've never heard of.
At the time, okay, so I looked for the pardon documentation regarding the pardon. She's not listed on any official sites. You know that? So some will say, well, wait a second, that you can't do that. You can't, it's got to be made public. Well, okay, I don't know. But she was never prosecuted for her activities, her revolution activities in the 80s, 70s, 80s. Well, I'm sorry, in the 80s specifically. And certainly she was never prosecuted for the Capitol bombing. But evidence shows that she was part of it. Mm-hmm. She was a ringleader, M19 and the other brigade. So
I don't understand these people with these backgrounds too. Once again, how they get jobs, how they get into our government. You know, if you and I go for a job, we have a background check, but they run a background check on us.
Oh, right? I was at a lunch.
We wouldn't get hired.
I gotta tell you, I had lunch with somebody on Sunday, and you know what? He works. Well, I won't say where he works, but he works in a position, defense contractor kind of thing. But he's got a clearance. He had to undergo a background check. I was interviewed. He's a relative of mine. I was interviewed, and they watch everything. The bank accounts, his bank account. He sold a car. Mm. And he had a report. He proactively reported proceeds going into his bank account because he did not want any issues with the security clearance.
Oh yeah.
So anything that happens with Bass and other people like her is not accidental.
Yep. And you remember I just sent you that thing. What was it, last Friday, about Carney's wife? Doug has talked on a couple of different shows about the Cloward pivot strategy. Okay, this is the communist strategy. And this came out that this Dianne Fox Carney, okay, this is Mark Carney, the Prime Minister of Canada.
Yeah, listen to this.
Dianne Fox Carney's aunt is Frances Fox Piven. Okay? A radical left sociologist at Columbia University that conjured up the Cloward Piven strategy. Canada, you are in trouble. And you know what's funny?
Lay that relationship out again, because I don't think people.
Okay. Yep. Grab this. Get this. Dianne Fox Carney. This is Mark Carney, the Prime Minister's wife. More husband. Wife is Frances Fox Piven, a radical left sociologist that was at Columbia University that conjured up the Cloward Piven strategy. And we've talked a lot on this show about that. That is pure communism. It's their strategy. It's a playbook. Okay? And this is it's just like Obama when we found out he had been with Bill Ayers and the Weatherman terrorist network. And then you're going to make him president? He shouldn't even be allowed to run for president. Think about that. If we had that on our record, we wouldn't get DOD clearances. We wouldn't get anything. People would run from us. Probably get hired by the CIA, but
yeah.
You know what I mean? But, conventional, I am blown away at the filth. I am, at every level. At every level. We've got to clean these places out. I'm telling you, the United States is the last thing between the fall of the world. Okay, and I had Charles over here, begging Trump to stay with NATO and all that. The United States is NATO. Always has been.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. None of us are fans of NATO here. So
and this Charles guy, he's ridiculous. He is absolutely. He's a closet Muslim.
Very true. And I don't want to stray from your point on Francis Fox Piven.
No, I just wanted to bring that up
because look, people are going to run into this. Where here's the claim. Mark Carney, his wife, Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney, let me be clear, is linked to the Cloward-Piven strategy. How? Through his wife, Diana Fox Carney. Now, everyone understand that, right? Okay, good. Reportedly, she is the niece, as stated by RT there, of Francis Fox Piven. Now, if you look this up, you're going to see, this has been unverified.
Pay attention, folks.
Okay, yeah, exactly. So, no, it's unverified. All right, come on, man. Look, investigation has been done. Can we 100%? I mean, do we take DNA? No, but if you dig deeper than just the headlines and subtitles of reports, you will find that the claims have merit. Some will say, okay, well, that's been debunked. Why is this important? Because our history, the facts of matters that are important to our security are being changed in real time.
Yes. If it's digital, they can change it. Remember that.
That's right.
Please.
Which is why,
remember that.
Everyone should have a hard copy Bible. Don't rely. Look, you can use it on your phone, but you better have a Bible.
And you want to know the truth? You should get a hard copy Quran.
Yeah.
You really should, and I'll tell you why. We've already had where we had the big issues have been about covering their head and their breast, and the Muslims went on for years saying, "Oh, it says in the Quran that they're supposed to cover their head and their breast, their bosom." It used to say in the Quran, and this is no joke, the copy I have, it says plain straight up, to cover thy bosom. That's it. That's it. Now, if you go online, they have Quranic verses now that say to cover the bosom and your head. That is a lie. That is a lie, and I'll take you a step further. It's a cultural thing. It's not even a religious thing because it wasn't in the Quran.
Well, the entire system is political and cultural.
Yes, yeah, but that's they tried to say that this was a religious thing, and they pointed to the Quran for years. It's not their source, their defense was no good because it wasn't there. But I mean, yes, there is a political system. It's a very it's evil.
I am so thankful too. At the height of our engagement in the counterterrorism investigations that we did, you and I, a listener, when we first started back in 2010, 11-ish, or no, it was earlier than that.
Yeah, we're in 2002.
Yeah, it was a listener or somebody close. Yeah, a listener had sent me a hard copy of a 1950s, it might have been 40s, Quran that was, it had, it was almost like a Bible concordance in there, like a Bible concordance, but one for the Quran. It was originally published in the 50s or 40s maybe, and it was printed and reprinted. I think I got a second copy, and it had the Arabic, English, and then a type of concordance. let me tell you something. Everything that Randy Taylor is saying is 100% true. The original texts have been bastardized. I mean, for political purposes.
Absolutely. And a lot of history is being changed.
Yeah, very much.
And it's small amounts. It isn't things you would even notice. But if you're a person like Doug, like myself, and a person that loves history, and you've dealt with it, especially if it's a subject you've dealt with before, and then you go back and you go, wait a minute. And then you actually can go to your own notes and go, no, I didn't get that wrong. No, I didn't get that wrong. And this is what's happening. And if it's digital, they can change it. Remember that. That's why libraries are disappearing. Books are disappearing. They want you to have, ebooks, and they don't want you to buy hard copies.
So, yeah, folks, please. I know it takes up space, but we both have libraries.
Yes.
And
I won't throw a book away. In my entire life, I've never thrown away a book. I refuse. I don't care what the book is. I don't care what it is. I keep it.
Sadly, I mean, look, I've got Qurans for reference. I've got the Queen James, Queen James Bible. For reference. I've got a lot of works from Crowley, or not Alistair. Anyway, but most importantly, I've got hard copies of the Bible. Please make sure you have that. Okay.
Yes.
I'm looking at.
And remember, as they go with the different versions of the Bible, they'll change a few words. It changes the whole context of a verse. Yep. Beware. Be careful.
And during our last supporters meeting, I was talking about the Ethiopian Orthodox Bible. It's an amazing work. It includes for example, Book of Enoch. It has, I think, 80 some books as opposed to
Enoch.
66.
That's cool.
Yeah. So and it has original translations, and oh my goodness. But I'm just tossing that out there. But looking at the time, I just want to throw this out there. We were talking about Karen Bass. And the bigger issue is, how do these people infiltrate our government? Obviously, she was elected Los Angeles mayor, but you got to look at that and understand how she got in the position to be elected. Okay, so recently, now think back to January of January 7th of 2025, the Palisades fire. The talk is, well, we have to burn it down and then rebuild low-income housing, or 15-minute cities, part of the bigger plan, and people poo-pooed that, right?
Yeah.
And then, of course, the origins of the Palisades fire was questioned. All right, well, recently, a phone call was leaked. This phone call occurred on January 4th, 2025, between Karen Bass and John Alley, a property manager, whistleblower in the Pacific Palisades, Westlake, and MacArthur Park areas. Now, Alley contacted Bass to warn her about the extreme fire risks at the time. Weather conditions. Hey, man, look, we got some issues. We got some problems. Listen to this leaked conversation, because Karen Bass says something really interesting. And listen for this. She's talking to this guy. She said, the money quote here, read between the lines. Basically, I'm giving you some information. Read between the lines of what I'm saying. Folks, you hear this? I don't know how many people have heard this. She knew exactly what was coming. She knew that there was a devastating fire about to take place. It was a land grab.
Mm-hmm. And didn't they just do something like, I'm going to go back and say 8 or 9 years prior, there was fires throughout California, and it turned out to be where they wanted the rail system.
Yep. That transportation, energy, and of course homes. Yep.
Yeah, what a coincidence.
Yep.
Fire is a tool of the elitist, definitely in California. Yeah. We got a problem, man. And nobody's doing anything about this stuff. I don't understand why people don't get arrested for this stuff.
How can we have, well, I don't have to ask, but we have communists who are subverting our country, who are actually declaring war against you and I, ladies and gentlemen, who are killing our families, and that's not a hyperbolic statement. Yeah. Listen to this. Now, this was presented with the proper context by John Alley. So it's him explaining this phone call and playing this phone call. Eric the Tech, go ahead and run this. How long, Eric the Tech? Let me see here. This is about, I don't know. How long is it? Okay, about 2.5 minutes, a little more than that. Here it is. Listen to this.
I'm John Alley, and I wanted to disclose today that I'm the person on the recording with Karen Bass who called me on my cell phone.
The situation is very dangerous, and I would never do. I will take the criticism before I do a publicity stunt. And frankly, a press conference at this point in time would just be publicity.
And told me she was boarding the plane that day, January 4th at 12 noon on a Saturday to Ghana. And you're welcome to call me at any time. I'll call you right back.
No problem. And just in terms of my trip, just so you know, I'm missing 2 work days. That's.
I warned her and advised her of the National Weather Service conditions on winds that were predicted. She said she was still leaving. I think the neighbors, the property owners, and the residents. I mean, 41,000 people live within a square mile here.
Yeah.
2 families share a 1-bedroom apartment.
But they want to hear that something is going to be done.
They want to know it's recognized. But they want to know it's recognized.
Exactly. But if I have a choice between that and compromising something, I just have to go along with it. It's not my area of expertise.
I lost my parents in the aftermath of the fire. I lost my family home. My parents lost their home. My sister lost her home. Many people died after from the confusion.
I want to make sure that you are safe. And hopefully you can read in between the lines. But I would just appreciate and it's hard for me to tell you this, but hold tight. You will understand soon.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
And when I am able to talk, I will be happy to go into great detail.
Okay. And you've got me on the street more than 8, more than 12, right in the Palisades. I told her she explained to me she was going to be gone for 2 working days. I explained that as mayor, she's going to be gone 5 working days. Saturday and Sundays count, and she's in a 24/7 job as mayor. If you have any questions or want to call me, feel free.
Folks, what'd you think about that? RT, what'd you think about that? Did you see that before? Or hear that before?
No, that's news to me. I have never seen that.
So just again, looking at this, and it's really difficult, I think, at times to put in proper context. The situation in California, there was an agenda that she was following. It was, when you listen to that, I'll put the link up in the description box for wherever everyone can listen to that. She's taking orders from someone.
Mm-hmm.
Who?
I don't know. The elitists, man. That's it. The people that said at Davos.
Well,
best thing we could do is go clear Davos out. That'd be the smartest thing we could do. That would give the world back.
Well, when they meet again, what time are you driving or
every February, I'd like to fly.
Yeah.
Over. It's in a valley.
But
perfect for a tactical nuke.
You know what? We got to, no. Yeah. Okay. I don't have any in my gun cabinet, tactical nukes.
I'm going to go talk to Putin.
Yeah, there you go. But you look at California as a state. You look at Newsom as the governor. You look at
they're tying him into some criminal behavior now, some criminal activity, fraud.
That's a given. Fraud, obviously. Yeah.
This whole fraud. Every state, it seems like there's just bales of fraud. It's just unbelievable the amount of money that's defrauded in this country out of the government.
Mm-hmm.
We're paying the bill.
Yep.
That's the thing. We're paying the bill. It's just like, it's not a victimless crime. It's like shoplifting. That's not a victimless crime. Everybody that goes shopping pays for that.
Yeah.
These are not victimless crimes, and people need to get really seriously pissed about this. We're run rampant with fraud in this country.
100%.
And it's government officials and people in positions of power. And we're the one picking up the tab. Why do you think your taxes are so high?
Well, yeah.
Why do you think honestly, think about that. Have you seen anything recently that looked like a good investment of your tax dollars in your county, in your state? Why does it cost so much more today than it did? And don't say just because of inflation of the dollar. I'm talking proportionately. Why does it cost so much more today to run it than it did 30, 40 years ago?
Explain that.
It's the fraud.
Yeah.
It is the fraud. The cost of living is up. Oh, yes, it is. Unbelievable. And we let them get away with it. That's the part that we need our heads examined. This whole thing needs to be torn out and redone. Congress needs to be cleaned out. It really does. Every one of them needs to be held accountable. They are the criminality in Congress is off the charts. It's to where they don't even care if you find out anymore. Look at Ilhan Omar. Look at AOC. You question them, they change the story. And the press goes right along with it. It's unbelievable.
Well, the press is part of it, and back when you mentioned the gunfire incident at the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Yep.
It was interesting because I don't remember who this was, but one of an administration official or somebody close to the administration was actually not under a table, but hiding or seeking cover. At which point he stated that a recognized journalist, female, stated something like, "I hope they get that orange MFer." Okay, I hope something to that effect. Okay, so you've got the media that's no friend of the public. They're not doing what they're supposed to do as a weapon. Yeah, none of this should surprise anyone, nor does it, I'm sure. But this is how absolutely conquered we are.
Mm-hmm.
And Eric the Tech, I sent you one more video because we played this back in 2025. We played this video. In fact, I think RTU and I think we were on together, and I think we played it at that time. Okay. This, for people who don't remember, she had returned from Africa, and this was a clip from Sky News about the fires. This was posted publicly on January 8th by Sky News. So what you just heard, now, obviously maybe you can think back to 2025 when we played this, but
it might ring a bell.
Oh yeah, but now look at this. In the wake of what you heard from that phone call, and picture yourself in the criminal mindset of Karen Bass with the agenda, this communist agenda, being told what to do and doing it following orders.
Mm-hmm.
It's just over 2.5 minutes. Here is Karen Bass, Sky News interview in the wake of those fires. Watch this.
Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today?
Can you back up? Appreciate it.
Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today? Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position? Madam Mayor, have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today who are dealing with this disaster? No apology for them? Do you think you should have been visiting Ghana while this was unfolding back home? Madam Mayor, let me ask you just again, have you anything to say to the citizens today as you return?
No. They're gonna come.
Ma'am, hold on 1 second.
Madam Mayor, just a few words for the citizens today as you return to deal with the catastrophe.
Can you take this down?
David, as you say, she wasn't very keen to answer any of your questions there. And fire chiefs are also admitting that they just don't have enough personnel to take out the fires.
Yeah, they're fighting all sorts of challenges. They're talking about a water shortage. There are reports of fire hydrant failures. They've been unable to use firefighting aircraft for much of the day due to the smoke that is billowing ominously from the hills where the wildfires are raging. And I suppose despite that political storm, this is, of course, at its heart, a human story, because we've now 80,000 people evacuated. Tens of thousands of others are on standby to be evacuated. 2 lives have been lost in the Eaton fire, which is what's causing the consequence behind us. The city's iconic landscape almost shrouded completely by the smoke. And they're really just taking it one step at a time, hoping at some stage the wind's going to change direction or to die down, and that they're going to be able to get this fire under control.
Folks, do you remember that? RT, I remember playing that and commenting on her lack of response.
Yeah. Not a word to say.
If you look at her carefully, and I'm sure a lot of the people certified in nonverbal communication will point certain things out. You could see where there's a leak of guilty knowledge there. Many people describe her as incompetent. She's not incompetent.
No, the eyes gave her away.
Yeah.
Big time.
I'm telling you.
Big time. They were darting.
You know, we once in this country had something called the Communist Control Act of 1954. Eisenhower signed it into law. It outlawed the Communist Party USA. Maybe we need to bring that back.
We need to do something.
Yeah.
We need to do something. This not being loyal to the United States.
Yeah.
We're not talking about being loyal to a candidate.
Right.
We're talking about being loyal to a country. And that's the problem we have today. They're not loyal to the United States. I'm not saying you need to vote for Donald Trump. That's not what I'm saying when I say that. You need to be loyal to this country, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican. You shouldn't be praying for the downfall of the United States. And if you're loyal to another country over this one, you need to take your ass to that country and stay there.
100%.
That's simple.
You know, there was, back in the mid-50s, well, in the 50s, a guy by the name of Ernest von den Haag He was a Dutch-born American sociologist. He was a social critic, and he wrote some books. He was an author. He said this: there is no place in America for those who, there's no place in a democracy, understanding the use of that word at the time. There's no place in democracy for those who want to abolish it, even with a peaceful vote.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
And here we are.
Yep. Here we are, and Canada's ahead of us.
Unbelievable.
It's no longer a democracy. And I'm not joking. I seriously doubt you'll ever see another election in Canada.
I'm very concerned about that. And why be concerned about that? Because, well, the proximity plus
and them wanting to bring China in.
Yeah.
And that's scary. And that's where that's what Trump's watching. Because we're not going to allow a communist country above us, attached to us.
Nor should we. And people might bristle at that, but no, we can't.
Nope. We cannot. You fix it, or we fix it.
RT, we're at the end of the show. Give out your folks, if you missed it the first time. Randy Taylor is given a lot for fighting for this country, fighting for America, fighting for you and I. I mean, I've seen him go. I've seen him do things at his own expense. God bless that man. Him and I, we did a lot of stuff.
A lot.
A lot. So look, he's suffering financial setbacks. I mean, for crying out loud, he lost both of his legs. So, RT, give out for those who want to maybe help out a little bit, give out your...
It's, you go to PayPal, and the email address that you enter in there is help4rt@gmail.com. Okay, there's no dots or dashes. It's help4rt@gmail.com, and it's 4, the digit 4. And like I said, that's at PayPal. I lost my legs last year. I'm kind of like, I have one good prosthetic, and then I
was going to say you don't have a leg to stand on, but
no, not really. And it's been a challenge, and it's been really difficult for us and for my family. And we're just trying to make ends meet.
Amen to that. And we are all praying for you, and that's the thing too. If you cannot,
thank you.
If you can't support, then certainly a prayer would be in order. And I would also ask people to. I'll tell you what, I'm really having a hard time of it. My lady, the studio dog, is on the ropes. She does have aggressive, full-blown bone cancer, and she's bleeding internally. And last night, the night before last, I laid with her in bed, or in her bed, just held her pretty much all night. Last night I did the same thing, and she's not doing well.
You don't, and ladies and gentlemen, Doug and his dog, that's an incredible relationship. He loves animals. He does love animals. I was at his house. I remember visiting. I got up one morning, and I walked out, and I looked over the rail. Doug's laying on the dining room floor with my black Labrador retriever. She's blind and diabetic, and he's just loving on her and talking to her. I'll tell you what, man, you want to know an animal lover, it's that guy right there. And I love him for it, because it lets me know the heart that's in that man. I've loved Doug since I met him. He's a good guy.
First time we met was Buffalo Airport. I remember that day.
Yep. We talked a lot on the phone, but first time we met, I came up to see Skip.
Yep. Amazing. Wow. Okay, folks, tomorrow night, Steve Quayle, Michael Yon. Oh, boy.
That should be good. Michael Yon is right down there. I mean, he's no stranger to the Darien Gap.
No, and he's got a lot to say about what's going on in this country. So tell a friend, tell a mundo, whatever. But
right on,
all right. But
that'll be a great show.
Yeah, thanks for coming on tonight.
Oh, appreciate absolutely. I love you guys. I love being with the audience and being with you, Doug, and you too, Eric. Yep. Yeah, I always look forward to it.
Despite the little pictures. See that stuff. Come on, man. All right. Yeah, you can. Yeah, my eyes. No. All right, you can put that away. Oh gosh. All right, folks, that'll do it. Have a great night. God bless each and every one of you. Thanks for joining. Right. And if you like what we're doing, just tell somebody about it. And follow on Rumble. Wow. You know,
one of those nights.
Yeah. Well, Friday, I'll just end with this. Friday, I had to, because I'm still having trouble with my jaw. Of course, I hit the steps. I have a perforated sinus, and the bone graft doesn't take. So Friday, I had part of it redone, and oh man, this weekend I was like in pain. And let me tell you something. I have trouble. I had trouble talking before. Now it is aggravated by this mess in my mouth. So in case I sound like I'm chewing on some cud when I'm talking, that's the reason. But I don't need a reason because I wasn't the great orator before. All right. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
God bless.
All right. Eric, thank you very much, even though you're going to get spanked for what you've done. Yes. God bless you guys. Have a good night.
Good night.